Hi, welcome to This Week in Property. I'm Jayashree Kurup, I'm editor MBTV, and I have with me Prabhakar Sinha. He's the real estate editor of the Times of India. So what do you do when you have a refund order from RERA, from NCDRC, or from even the courts, but it has not been implemented? Prabhakar, big problem. A lot of people are complaining about this. Let's talk about what is it that consumers should do.
Yeah, basically, first of all, suppose if a court orders that for a refund and then developer is not implementing it. So this is a kind of breach of that order, and first of all, the buyer must approach to the same court that your order has not been implemented, my lord, what should be done. Now, in the case of RERA particularly, if the order is not implemented, then the court can order for the clerk and can transfer that order to the collector to ensure that that fellow should pay up that money. And if he is not paying that money, then his property should be confiscated.
Now, how much time does all this take? I think today the consumer, we've been talking about this from 2017 onwards since RERA came. There was a lot of hope. I think somewhere consumers are running out of patience.
Exactly. So this is the problem. And this is where the RERA is also asking the authority, basically government, to give them some more power, some more teeth, so that they can get their order implemented directly. But the RERA doesn't have any power like that. So what happens that RERA goes to the collector, district magistrate, to get its order implemented. As collector is normally a busy person, so he doesn't have that much of the time normally to attend to all this kind of a matter to get it implemented as soon as possible. So it may take some time, and certainly that buyer or the customer, gets frustrated because of this. Another problem in the NCDRC also the similar situation arises. And if suppose somebody is not able to buy it, then against him some new order has to be given. Now, but today I believe that the buyer has some more options available to them. First of all, suppose a buyer finds that his order or the refund order is not getting along. In that case today he has the biggest tool in his hand that he just should go to NCLT and file a case on the NCLT. And if the NCLT orders him that first you resolve the issue, means if that payment is really there and suppose some order is already in his hand, so the NCLT will say that first you must pay him up, and if you can't pay it up, then NCLT can take over the company and appoint the resolution professional. In that situation, the developer is out of the company. And
so actually as a consumer, they don't need to feel frustrated.
Yeah.
There are many doors open to you, and laws are becoming more and more in favor of completion of projects, and if you've paid for something, that you should get the project,
exactly.
right?
Yeah.
And so quickly to summarize, Prabhakar says, first go to RERA. RERA is a specific to the real estate segment. Go to RERA and make your complaint. In that complaint, if the RERA regulator asks the developer to complete the project, there is a timeline that has to be given, right?
Yeah, not only that, Jayashree. Now today, if suppose somebody's project is still not completed and it is an old project, then while registering that project in RERA, that gentleman must have given a timeline when to complete the project.
In fact, last week, Mr. Balvinder Kumar, member UP RERA, said on one of our shows that he said that we are giving them time till December 2019 or latest March 2020. It's a time-bound approach that UP RERA has taken.
Yeah.
Every RERA has not yet done this, but at least some RERA authorities are saying, and UP RERA is very significant because Greater Noida has a large number of projects. What they say is that we are not asking consumers to wait indefinitely. The same thing came through in the Supreme Court order.
Yeah, exactly. Now, not only now, the first stage is this. Now, in the second stage, suppose that gentleman has given certain date like December 2019. That means he also would have given that, okay, this would be the progress in his construction.
In each quarter.
In each quarter, the timeline would have been given.
Right.
Now, and that timeline of the progress report has to be submitted through the website.
Yes.
So it must be on the website. Now, buyer can check it on the website that whether that report goes as per the plan which they had submitted before while registering, number one. Number two, at the ground whether it is really true or not. Now, if suppose no construction is happening and he's submitting the report, he can file a complaint in the RERA that he is doing a falsification. So please check it.
Prabhakar, in some RERA authorities, and this is something that consumers are raising, they are not able to figure out what is that periodic progression that the developer has committed to the RERA. In that case, can the consumer or a group of consumers go back to RERA and say, I want to know what the developer committed in the last 3 months?
Exactly. And the RERA authority has to tell him that what exactly he has committed and how the report is getting submitted, because it is as per the law. It is not that the RERA is doing it on its own sweet will. It is according to the law that he has to give that timeline first of all, and the progress report also has to be submitted quarterly. Now, if the progress report is not as per the ground development, then the buyer can tell the authority that this is not true. Buyer can give him the pictures that what he has suggested is this, that construction has gone to the 15th floor, but construction has not reached to the 15th floor, it has reached to the only 8th floor. Or when the new registration was done, it is at the same level, so no work is happening. In that case, RERA must take action. Buyer also.
What is the action that RERA will take?
RERA will say that if you are not constructing it, I will put you out of the project, and I will ask the buyers to take over the project and appoint some new contractor to complete the project.
And that is part of the law. It's a provision in the law that if the developer is not completing the project according to the timelines that he has given, the schedule that he has given, then RERA can ask either another developer or a body of buyers to take over the project and complete the project, and it is in the purview of RERA.
Yeah, and so RERA can do it. Now, still suppose if the RERA is dilly-dally, suppose in that case the buyer has Brahmastra in his hand, he can approach directly to NCLT.
So what does a buyer have to do when he goes to the NCLT?
Nothing, he just file in a complaint. He has to prove it that he has given them the money, and in the lieu of the money, that fellow has not executed the promises, and so he says that I want his money back as per the law. That is also as per the law. And the moment that developer has to give him the money back, that means he owed that much money to the buyer. And so now he has become debtor, and so he has to give the money back, and if he is not giving the money back, NCLT will ensure it that either he should give money back or he should step out of the company.
Right. Now, the thing is that whether it is the NCDRC or it is the civil courts, many buyers have got refund orders. But those orders are yet to be implemented, with the developer saying that I don't have money in the system. Now, last week we picked up in the property show, one of the shows on our channel, and the consumer said that the developer had said that there is no money to complete the project. But when the same promoter has joined with some other developer and is promoting another project, his objection was that if the developer does not have money, clearly the money was taken out of the project for something else. How can he be allowed to launch another project with any other name? They create new companies, they create new joint ventures, and will the developer be allowed to launch a new project?
Now, look, there is some situation in it. Now, suppose a developer has land parcel with it. Now, he says that, okay, he's short of money, he wants to sell this land parcel, and with that money, he is going to complete that project.
Sure.
But nobody is buying that land parcel.
Right.
Meanwhile, he finds some other developer who says that, okay, you come with me, let us go for the joint developer, and whatever sale proceeds comes, out of that certain money will go to you against the land parcel.
There is no commitment that money, that new project is being launched, so that the previous project can be completed.
Exactly, for that he must take the buyers of the previous project into confidence.
Yes.
That I am going to raise money through this effort, and this money will flow into this project, and this project will be completed.
But
now,
will the buyers of the new project not object to that?
Now suppose
now money is in escrow accounts.
No,
if he launches a new project,
no, 70% money is going to the escrow accounts, 30% money is still out. So with that 30% money can flow into this project, and that can help him complete the project. But now for this itself, the RERA authority must come on the board, buyers of the previous project should come on the board, and the new developer with whom he is going to partner, he should also come on the board, and with that arrangement he should do it. Because
So the intent has to be clear.
intent is to be clear.
Yes.
And his the primary responsibility today is to complete that old project. That is his primary responsibility. Now if he is not doing, if he is not working towards that, that means he is violating the basic, the buyer's confidence in him, the buyer's that confidence reposed in him, he is just taking right out of that, and I believe that he should be punished for that. And not only that, even authority, RERA will not allow him, and authority will also should not allow him, like the Noida authority in Delhi, in Noida, Greater Noida, or in Gurgaon, some other development authority should also look into the matter, that whether if this gentleman is a violator and a defaulter, then he must complete the earlier project, then only he should launch the new project.
Right. You know, Magicbricks has been tracking consumer sentiment through this entire period, and we ran a survey. It is elections are on. There has been voting in UP. Happened last week, a couple of days ago. So we said, let's find out what the consumer sentiment is as far as the elections go. Deepak, if we could have the slide on please. We asked the consumers, how will you draw the government's attention to a stuck project issue in this election? After all, a vote is a very powerful medium that the consumer has to show the government what or the authorities what it means. Now, the consumer has, we have shown the project on your screen, we have shown the poll on your screen. 42% said that they will vote for the incumbent party. 31% said that they will vote for change. 21% said they will not exercise, they will hit nota that they are not voting for anybody. And 6%, only a mere 6% said they will not vote this time. Clearly, the consumer takes his vote very seriously. The consumer wants to tell the developers and the governments that they have this power and they are willing to exercise it. So real estate has actually become an issue on which votes can swing.
Yeah, exactly. Now look the things now for the sugarcane farmers. No, now the payment from the sugar mill is a big issue for them because they have given them the sugarcane and mill owner is not giving them the money, and that becomes a pool issue.
Yeah.
Now here the people have given the developer their lifetime savings.
95% of the cost.
95% of the cost. And that is a big ticket money. Now that is the only one's lifetime effort of a person.
Yeah.
And if the developer is not doing anything, then leaving the developer or the buyer that okay, now you go to the court, law will take its own term, and then you will get your money. That's not fair.
The consumer's no longer interested in waiting and waiting for things to take their own time. The consumer wants his house now. And that is why you as consumers must understand the ins and outs of the law. You must understand what your options are. Like we said, go to RERA, that's your first port of call. In fact, in a previous poll that we ran, we found that about 60-65% of consumers said RERA is their first port of call. RERA is a law that is to protect the consumer. But even in RERA, if you feel that the process is taking too long or the developer is engaging in delaying tactics, you can go back to RERA and say, show me what progress happened in the last 3 months. If you can't see what was committed by the developer to RERA, go to the RERA authority as a body of consumers and ask what was committed and how much work has happened. RERA is doing audits on the ground on behalf of consumers to verify that work is happening. If work is not happening and if the RERA process is way too slow, or even if you've got a order from the RERA which is not being implemented and which is being delayed, you have it in your right to move to other forums. You can inform RERA that now I'm going to go to the NCLT and I'm going to tell them that this developer is incapable of completing my project. I want to take over the project without this developer with another construction entity. And that is another option left to you. Let's take, so Prabhakar, we got a very...
And that will put developer out of the project completely without any money. So that, and besides that, In the NCLT, then forensic audit will start and so many other things will start, and the developer will be hauled up very badly. So you have that option, but only thing is this, that option might not be very constructive all the time. It could be destructive also, and it could be only to punish the developer. So what I'll suggest you that go to the RERA, try first of all that your the project is completed, expeditiously. But if that is not happening, and if you find that this developer is not willingly trying to do that, then you have that capacity. You can do that. You should move to the NCLT.
We've got Sumit Sharma who says, can we file a contempt case in case after the order the builder refuses to refund?
Yeah, certainly. Contempt case is the next thing. The moment, suppose the order is not getting implemented, and you are going to the court back saying that, my lord, your order has not been implemented, that itself is a contempt, and you are filing a contempt application, and the court must come on that what is the remedy they have for that.
Right. There's Girish Singh who says, Girish Singh of Noida says, is RERA a legal body or an administrative body?
Legal body. So it's quasi-legal, basically quasi-judicial body. It has both, administrative power also, and along with that judicial power also. It has both.
So he says that there's Naresh Soni of Greater Noida who says, can RERA pass an order against government bodies like NBCC for any violation done?
Yeah, they can file order against NBCC, because in that situation NBCC is basically a developer, not a government body. But RERA can't pass the order against Noida Authority or against a CPWD or against some other government agency. That the RERA can't do.
So Mihir Kumar of Faridabad says, how can RERA complete the project when there is money left with the builder to fund the construction? When there is no money left with the builder to fund the construction?
Now, two things here. That suppose in the project, now it's not that the developer is basically completing the project. Project itself has money. Like the buyers who doesn't have paid complete amount, now so whatever outstanding is left with the buyer, that money can come. If in the project there is some vacant land is there which has not been developed as yet, RERA can sell that land or can launch a new project which can be sold to raise funds. And if there are unsold units in the project itself, that can be sold in the market and money can be raised. Through various this kind of means, money can be raised and it can be completed. But now suppose developer also has not siphoned up the fund, or developer has no money, gone bankrupt. Now all the buyer's money has been exhausted, no land is left in the project itself. In that situation, RERA can ask the developer body, this buyer's body, to sit together and decide what to do. Now suppose there is a project where the cost of the flat is 1 crore of rupees, and if all the buyer paid additional 2 lakh of rupees and the project can be completed, then what buyers should do now, it is buyer has to decide that whether that 2 lakh rupees to be paid additional money. Now suppose he had bought it for 1 crore, but now the cost is going to be 1 crore 2 lakh. Would he like to pay that 2 lakh of rupees to complete the project, or would he like that entire thing to be auctioned out, sold, and whatever money is left to be distributed among the buyers? Now these are the options left.
And as buyers, this is something that we have been telling you. When your project is incomplete, the project is a distressed project, and the amount of money that you can get for selling off that project is limited. If as a body of buyers you come together and decide that you want the project completed, and if, like Prabhakar said, a 2 lakh, 5 lakh, whatever it takes to complete that project, if you put that additional money under the supervision of RERA, there is no way that the developer will be able to take that
Developer
money.
is bankrupt. Now this is the condition. Now if the developer has money or developer has some other property, certainly RERA will go after them, or the law will go after him to find out that, okay, where is the money, and his land, his house can be auctioned off, as it is happening in the case of Amrapali. So that is the last resort. But if suppose even after that there is not enough money in the system to complete the project, then it comes on the buyers that whether they want to contribute that additional amount to complete the project or not. Now, what is profitable in that case? It is buyer has to decide, it is buyer has to analyze and find out that if they find that, okay, additional 2 lakh rupees paying and complete the project is better option, or going for the auctioning of the property is a better option. That is up to the buyer.
But the discussion we're having today is in the light of the fact that the Supreme Court said that inordinate delay, 5 to 7 years delay, which a lot of you have faced, is not, you can't force a buyer to continue to keep waiting when the delay is way more than.
Yeah. Even the law itself says that if delay has happened, buyer has the option to ask for the refund or the flat with the interest for the delayed period on the money that you have paid, or you want money back, then with interest you take the money back. Now look, in that case the money has to be returned to you with an interest of 2% above the SBI MCLR rate, which is today around 8.5%. So you will get the money back with 10.5% interest rate.
So Prabhakar, when a consumer says that the developer says I don't have money, right? And so I want refund, he says there is no money for refund. I can either complete the project or I can refund the money.
Or not refund the money.
Or not refund the money. The buyer's logic is that if you don't have money to refund me in this project, you must not be allowed to launch fresh project.
Certainly not. I mean, if he's going to launch it, he must take buyers into the confidence. Right. Without that, he should not be allowed.
So that developer who wants to launch projects should be able, a new project should be able to come back to the buyer and say, and keep RERA in the loop, be able to say that I'm launching this new project so that I can unlock the value of some other land.
Exactly.
Through which 30% I can take out, that 30% will be used to complete your project, and with that undertaking you can allow the developer to start. There is Arun Singh of Greater Noida who says he booked a flat in Greater Noida and the builder delayed possession for almost 5 years. The construction work is still going on. Should I claim refund or wait for possession?
Now look, in this kind of a situation, if you will go to the RERA, and if the project is already 50% or 60% completed and the developer is trying to complete the project, in that situation RERA will not normally allow you the refund in normal course. So RERA will say that you wait, and the developer, because you are saying that is already is still constructing the project, that means the project is registered with the RERA. So a timeline must have been given that when the project is completed. Now if you say that suppose project is completed in the next 6 months time, so authority will tell you that okay, you wait for another 6 months and you take your project or take your flat. So in that situation normally you don't have much option that you can go any other way. Even if you go to the NCLT, there are some reports that NCLT is not entertaining such cases where developer is ready to complete the project. So they don't say that refund is your right and developer is your debtor. So in that case you'll have to wait for the flat. You can go to the NCDRC. NCDRC has given such orders where they have asked developer to refund the money. Now, in that case, still the developer has the choice to appeal and all that, but that's a long drawn. It will take at least more than a 1 year time to get the order. And by then, if developer has completed the projects, now still you have the right to take the money. You can go to the NCDRC. That is the only option left for you to take the money back.
So all of you who are logged in, we are running a poll on our on this site. Would you? We urge you to take that poll. It helps us understand what the mood of the market is. Do take the poll that is currently running. Do you want to take possession of your flat or do you want a refund? There is Sarit Chauhan of Delhi who says, should a buyer go to the Supreme Court or NCDRC for resolution of delay penalty charges?
You can't come to Supreme Court directly. For that, you'll have to go to the lower court first. Now, only on the basis of the lower court, if the judgment is against you, you can move to the higher court and then you can go to the Supreme Court. So it will take at least 3 years to reach to the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court may hear your case. And for that also, the entire amount involved must be above certain amount, then only you can go to the court. Unless Supreme Court takes it suo motu.
Yeah.
Unless they take it suo motu. And that
as happened in a couple of cases.
Yeah, a couple of cases.
There's Lata Arora of Pune who booked a flat in 2005 and kept waiting since then for possession of the flat, which was promised to her in 2017. I'm also paying EMI and not able to sustain this loan along with rental expenses. What should I do? Now this is actually the kind of dilemma that a lot of consumers have, because the EMI never stops and your rent never stops, right?
Yeah.
We do believe that it is criminal to make consumers suffer like this, but in this case, all we can do is hope that go to RERA, get what judgments you can from RERA, and see whether that is possible.
First of all, you find out that what is the timeline given by that developer while registering it with the RERA, when they are intending to complete the project, number one. Number two, see it that whether they have submitted any progress report on the RERA site or not, and go to the actual site of the construction and see that whether construction is happening or not. Now, if that construction is not as per your satisfaction, you go to the RERA and tell the RERA that, sir, they are not constructing it, either you change the developer or find out some solution so that the project can be completed on schedule. And if the RERA, I believe, must help you in this, then RERA will help you. And even because you are under the Bombay RERA, Maharashtra RERA is very, very effective. But if you feel that no, you are not satisfied, then you have the solution, another remedy. You can move to another forum like NCLT.
There's Cecil David of Navi Mumbai who says, can you claim refund with compensation in case a builder fails to hand over the possession? How can we access the delay compensation? I paid 90% to the builder and already given 38 lakh. Can I claim compensation as well?
Yeah, obviously you can get the compensation. You can claim the compensation in this case. I mean, for that, you go to the RERA and ask RERA to get you the compensation, because if developer is not constructing the flat and they have given up, then RERA is bound to get your compensation, money returned with the interest rate. And
Cecil, like Prabhakar said, Maharera is extremely consumer friendly, and Maharera is not on a confrontation course. It's trying to get resolution done, so it calls the consumers, it calls the developers, and Maharera allows conciliation to happen so that you don't have to wait for years and years for the resolution. What we urge is go to RERA. In your case, you've got a wonderful RERA authority out there. Go to RERA and tell them what your problem is and see whether you can get. Both Lata from Pune and Cecil David from Navi Mumbai, your RERA authorities are strong and you should be able to figure out whether they can find a solution to you. If you go as individuals, of course you can fight as individuals, but we urge, and many RERA authorities are now using us as a medium to reach out to you, that please come as groups of buyers so that you will be able to find a resolution for all of the buyers instead of each person coming separately.
Yeah, in this case, you are supposed to get the money back with 2 percentage point above the SBI MCLR rate for the entire period if you are taking the refund. And that money that developer owes to you to pay. So don't worry. I mean, if he is not giving you the flat, he is supposed to give you money back, and that is as per the law. And law is giving you that right. And I believe that in this land, law is still powerful, and they can get it to you.
Unfortunately, there have been a lot of delays and a significant amount of delays.
That is the problem. But at least in this case, remember that rate of interest comes out to be 10.5%.
Right.
So whenever you are going to get your money back, I mean, that is substantial. I mean, that is more than the market return. So don't worry, you will get the money. Only thing is this, that you'll have to wait.
And there's Rai Kaushal of Noida who says, I bought an Amrapali project. My tower is almost ready, but just finishing work is remaining. But even that is not being done by anyone. Who can take note of projects where there is just a little bit of work left and can be completed and delivered to buyers like me? Why are we suffering unnecessarily?
The Supreme Court is seized with the matter, and the Supreme Court has already asked NBCC to resolve this entire issue, and NBCC is also seized with the matter. So let's see. I mean, I hope that it will be done soon.
Right. And in the case of JP and Amrapali, we will have to await the court's order, and the Supreme Court is trying to find a solution. There is Deepak Singh who says, Sir, builder took booking amount from me 5 years ago. The project never took off, and now the developer is in NCLT. How will I get a refund?
Then wait for the, first of all, if it is in the NCLT, then you must file the charge. You must inform the NCLT that that developer owes you the amount of the money that you have paid. And then after, wait for the NCLT decision. You are the creditor, and as the whatever. Now suppose first of all the resolution will happen. Somebody will take over the company and he will return the money to all the debtors, number one, creditors. And if suppose that situation could not come and no company took over the company, in that case it will go for the liquidation, and in the liquidation whatever money comes, and it will flow to everybody, and you will also get your due. But in that case you might not get that entire one, a portion of that money will come to you. It will proportionately, as per the law, it will come to you.
There is Vijaya Kumar. Just a minute. There is Vijaya Kumar of Greater Noida who says, I filed a complaint with RERA as the builder levied extra charges on my under construction flat on the pretext of an extending area. I paid 3,200 rupees per square foot for my flat, while for an extended area he is charging 4,000 per square foot. RERA ruled against him, but he did not do anything. Should I go to NCDRC or Supreme Court?
You should go to RERA.
You should go to RERA. Why are you switching? The RERA has given a verdict in your favor. Don't lose heart because one problem came up again. Go back to RERA. UP RERA is trying to resolve cases. You should go back to RERA and say, this is what has happened. How am I to get my money? There is Vivek Rathi who says, I'm not happy with RERA order in which they allowed the builder to charge money for the extended areas. Can I challenge this in the Supreme Court?
You can, no, not in the
Supreme Court.
You'll have to go to the appellate authority first, and if the appellate authority also gives similar judgment, then you can go to the higher authority. But the issue is this, that additional charge has been allowed by various high courts and the Supreme Court already. So I don't think, and the RERA is giving order on this account on the basis of that also, and in this order, the RERA Act, it is provided that the additional construction, the area can be extended up to 7%, for which you will have to pay charges. If the extension is more than 7%, then you can dispute and you can say that I will not pay you for that. But up to 7% extension, now suppose your flat is 1,000 square feet, then 7% of that, so 70 square feet, so 1,070 square feet construction he can say, and you can measure it also, that whether they have really done it or not, and on the basis of that they can charge you. And such judgment have already come.
There's Nitin Rajput who says, मैम अगर बिल्डर ऑर्डर के बाद भी रिफंड नहीं देता तो क्या कर सकते हैं?
आप उसी अथॉरिटी के पास पहले जाइए जिसने कि आपको ऑर्डर दिया है रिफंड का, और वो अथॉरिटी इंश्योर करेगा कि उसका ऑर्डर इम्प्लीमेंट हो, और अगर नहीं होगा तो उसके खिलाफ, उस डेवलपर के खिलाफ एक्शन लेगा, और वो एक्शन ज्यादा फास्ट होगा. इस केस में रेरा, अगर आपका ऑर्डर रेरा से है तो रेरा उस डेवलपर को जेल भेज सकता है.
There is Yogesh Singh Nayak who says, who is better at getting refund orders implemented? RERA, Supreme Court, Consumer Court or government?
Supreme Court is the माय बाप, they can do anything.
Supreme Court कुछ भी कर सकता है, मगर remember that in the Supreme Court, in any other court, all cases of different segments will come. RERA is specific to the real estate segment, so the speed that you can achieve with RERA, you can't achieve with any other court. Also, when you want to go to the Supreme Court, there is a hierarchy. You have to go to the lower courts, you have to go to the High Court, and then to the Supreme Court, unless the Supreme Court allows a suo motu because of extraordinary circumstances, which in every case cannot be the case, and therefore you have to go through the. We advise that you go to RERA. If the RERA order is not implemented, go back and ask whether they can get it implemented. Many RERA authorities have started doing that. If that also doesn't happen, then you can go to various other courts, the Commission, the NCDRC or the NCLT, and with a rock solid reason why you're going to them.
Exactly. If the RERA order could not be implemented and RERA has also been, but such situations should not come, that RERA will fail. I don't think that in India.
It's not happening so much. I think there is you are very impatient because you waited for too long.
Yeah.
The RERA hasn't made you wait for that long. It's the builder who's made you wait for so long. And if you can get your arguments together, if you can come together as a consumer body, in many cases, for as many cases as there are which are not getting resolution in RERA, there are many more cases where the resolution is coming. So have faith in your courts and try and push it a little more. There is Pabla Singh of Noida who says, should builder be allowed to club 2 projects? I filed a complaint with RERA, but it is still pending. What should I do?
What 2 projects? I couldn't get it. But if you have filed complaint to RERA, RERA will certainly hear you, and they will see that your grievances should be resolved. And clubbing of 2 projects, now suppose you have bought in both the projects and both the projects is owned by the same developer, but you'll have to file case separately because both the projects are separate projects and they are the 2 different entities.
And in RERA, I don't think they're allowing you to club projects. Each project, or sometimes each phase of the project has to be listed separately. They are not allowing clubbing of projects as far as we know. If you send us more details, we'll be able to take it in a subsequent issue. Aman Kumar of Delhi says, can RERA get government orders implemented by the developers?
Government order?
RERA gives the orders.
Gives the order. Well, government makes the law and RERA gets that law implemented. And that's for the RERA is. Government doesn't pass any order for that matter.
What happens when RERA orders recovery certificate against the builder? How much can he deny or delay?
He can delay it because RERA doesn't have immediate power to do anything, but RERA gives them certain time to get that order executed first of all. If he is not giving you money directly, then RERA can ask the collector of that area that ensure that he returns the money. Even then, if he is not doing it, then RERA can order his arrest also. So that is the last resort. In that situation, he can be arrested unless he goes to the higher court on appeal, challenging that order itself.
There is Rajesh Sharma who says the apartment that I am staying in Chennai is not RERA registered. What are the steps to follow to get the apartment RERA registered?
If it is already you are living in that, it's not required to be registered in that case.
It is if it has got its OC, it does not need to be RERA registered. Those projects which were under construction and work was in progress when RERA came into being in 2017, those are the projects that which had not got their OC still then had to be registered under RERA. Completed projects where consumers are staying, which had got their OC before 2017 May,
need not be registered.
Need not be registered. And that's where we're going to end this show. I want consumers to understand that RERA is a body that helps the consumer. Today, all the bodies, RERA, NCDRC, the NCLT, and even the Supreme Court is trying to come out of this quagmire that we've pushed ourselves into, where the developers kept recycling money. In many cases, there were some policy delays in places like Noida and Greater Noida, which pushed the timelines out of sync. The authorities did not do their due diligence, neither did the lenders like the banks. As a result, the person who's bearing the brunt of all this is the consumer, and all these bodies are trying to help the consumer. But when we ask the consumers in our poll just now whether you want a refund or you want possession, a whopping 83% says they want refund and 17% want possession. In a situation like this, Prabhakar, do you think that the developers will be able to refund to 83% of consumers?
This is the big problem, and this is the problem why most of the project got stalled. And that is why, now today, why this situation is there? This situation is mainly because the price at which the customers had bought his flat, now suppose 5 years back or 6 years back, today the similar flat is available in the market lower than that price.
Right.
So the buyers are saying that I will not take possession of the flat, instead you give my money back with interest. that is certainly a win-win situation for the buyers. But remember here, I have a different view, different take on this. Now, buying a house is your business decision because you are paying to take the services, take the goods. Now, if the market is not performing, for that anybody should not be held responsible. But here the law provides a benefit to the buyers that if developers has violated, has not able to keep the contract, to keep the project or give the flats on time, buyer has the right to ask for refund. And so buyers are asking the refund. But now authority have realized that this is not possible, that buyers, that developers can give the money back because developer has already put that money back in the construction or whatever construction, 70%, 80%, 90% construction has completed. That is why the RERA has taken a view that if a project is constructed 60% and more, then refund cannot be allowed, refund cannot be ordered.
So that we can get the projects through to completion. If 83% of consumers like you take away the money from the system, and we are not in any way condoning the delay or what the developer has done in the past few years.
He should pay the interest on that. He should pay penalty.
Allow projects to get completed, and so that the end consumer who wanted to stay in that project gets the house to stay in and does not have to have that double whammy of a rent and an EMI.
Yeah, that's true. But at the same time, the risk of market has to be borne by the buyer.
By the buyer.
It's
and
not that.
The developers have brought this on themselves. They could have completed their projects and not let the market get into this situation. Today, once they've got into that situation, it's like a no exit for consumers, for investors, for developers. But at least we felt the pulse of the market. Consumers are in a mood to exercise their vote on the basis of the problems they face in the real estate market. And as we announced to you, 83% of the people who took our vote said that they want refund, in which case projects are unlikely to get completed.
Cannot be completed. And the developer cannot give you money also. Developer will go far. They will simply go bankrupt.
Right. And on this very peculiar situation, that's where we're going to end this edition of This Week in Property. Keep watching us, because our job is to raise the issues. Our job is to feel the pulse of the market. Our job is to make sure that the consumer and the developer, as well as the government authorities, all get to know what is the ground reality. Thank you for watching. I am Jayashree Kurup and this is Prabhakar Sinha.
Thank you.